Hi guys! On the menu today, I'll be showing you my take on green tea crepe with white chocolate ganache. Stay tuned for the recipe, and if you have any amazing idea you'd like me to try, leave me a comment down below. For the batter, you will need milk, eggs, butter, sugar, all-purpose flour, and green tea powder. You could definitely use green tea bags, which I have tried, but the green tea powder will give you a stronger green tea flavor and a more vibrant green color. Let's get to the kitchen and start prepping. Into a mixing bowl, crack 2 large eggs. These eggs doesn't have to be at room temperature, it could be straight from the fridge. So simple and easy. Whisk into fully combined. Then you want to set a shifter over the mixing bowl and shift in your flour, sugar, and green tea powder. Feel free to increase the amount of green tea powder to your like. And if you have any crumbs left, don't throw them away. Just use a little back of a spoon and press it through the shifter. Whisk it all up until you form this nice mushy dough. It's kind of like a dough, but not really, and it tends to stick to your whisk, but do not worry. And at this stage, make sure to add in your melting butter, which I totally forgot, and then whisk it again before you add the milk. Once you do that, then add the milk and whisk until you form a nice thin liquidy batter. And the milk could definitely be cold milk, and that's it. Oh, and to add a nice vanilla aroma, just add a pinch of vanilla extract. Now if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Now that we have our batter, let's run our batter to a shifter into a container with an easy pouring mouth. This step removes any clumps or chunk left over in the batter that was not mixed. And here's a little tip for you. While you're doing this, if the flow starts slowing down, use the whisk and then swirl the batter around in the shifter. That way any chunk can move around and then let the flow go through. And it helps speed up your process. And that's it! We now have our batter. Anyway, see all that chunk? That's what we want to avoid. We do not want that in our crepe. Now we want to let our batter sit at room temperature for at least 20 minutes. And while we wait, let's make the ganache. This recipe is so simple. It requires 2 ingredients, heavy cream and chocolate chips. Into a double boiler, if you need a DIY idea for how to make your own double boiler, check out my fudge recipe on my blog. Into a double boiler, put in 1/4 cup of heavy cream, then 1 cup of white chocolate chips. You can definitely use semi-sweet chocolate chip or dark chocolate chips to make a chocolate ganache instead of a white chocolate ganache. It's super delicious and go well with this recipe as well. Now cook this on low heat. Do not use medium-high heats or high heats because we don't want to overburn our chocolate. So make sure you do it on low heat and stir constantly until all your chocolate are melted evenly and you get a nice flowing ganache consistency like this. To make your crepe, onto a non-stick pan that's heated up at medium-high heat, slowly pour in 1/4 cups of the batter while swirling the pan around. This is an 8-inch pan. So if you use a bigger pan, make sure you pour a little more batter and let it cook for about 2 to 3 minutes before flipping it over. Use a thin spatula, or in my case, chopstick works great. Flip it over and cook for another 1 minute. Transfer to a plate, and that's it. We have crepes. Repeat this process until you run out of batter. Once you get all your crepe made, let's glaze it and stack it on top of each other to make a crepe cake. Spread on a thin layer of white chocolate ganache. Make sure you use only a thin layer. If you make your white chocolate ganache layer really thick, your crepe cake could be overly sweet. Because we're going to stack a lot of layers on top of each other, we try to avoid overly sweet crepe. And here's another tip for you. Try to keep your ganache warm during this whole process. As the ganache cooled down, it became more thick and harder to spread. So my recommendation for you is to leave the ganache on top of the pot, the double boiler pot of water that you have. Just make sure you turn off the heat so you don't overcook your ganache, and let the hot water keep the ganache warm. Repeat this process until you run out crepe. Look at that nice, delicious crepe cake. To make it extra fancy, drizzle over some ganache on top and sprinkle on some powdered sugar, or in my case, cocoa powder. I just like the color of it, so I sprinkle on some cocoa powder. Alright, here comes the best part. Let me taste it and tell you how it tastes. Oh, yum, so tasty. Have you guys ever tried the green tea flavor Kit Kat? This tastes just like it. Anyway, serve it with a side of hot tea or a cup of coffee. Super delicious for a Saturday or Sunday breakfast item. Let me take another bite before I say bye to you guys. Wait, but you're probably wondering, okay, making the ganache and can't find green tea powder is too much work for you. What do I do? Well, let me give you option number 2. I always give you guys option, of course, right? Well, if you can't find green tea powder, just make a normal crepe batter, skip the green tea powder, and then if you don't feel like making your own ganache, use Nutella. It's perfect with this recipe. Spread a thin layer of Nutella, and then sprinkle on some thinly sliced almond. This will add a nice crunch and balance out that super richness of the Nutella. Roll them into rolls, and to make it extra fancy, just stack them on top of each other. Top it up with whipped cream, sprinkle on some powdered sugar and cocoa powder. Super good, so delicious, yet so simple. Anyway, if you like my recipe, don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time for more recipe remix.